Hello everybody, this is Robinflying Crochet. Welcome to my channel. Hope you had a great week this week. I know I am 2 days late getting my videos out, but I am getting it out. Little man just kind of decided all of a sudden he wanted to go to the living room. I have a surgical procedure coming up, so I'm kind of like trying to sequester myself for my COVID test so that it's an accurate COVID test and it's going to be okay. So I'm kind of like staying at home in my pajamas, as you can well see. And yes, I have a chain now, so I can actually flip, instead of putting my glasses up on top, which I'm having a hard time breaking, I can hang them down below. So life's been good. All right, finished objects. Been doing a lot of stuff this week. Uh, a lot of time spent on stuff that I really didn't have to do this week, that I probably shouldn't have done this week, but I did it, and just all of a sudden, you get a wild hair and off you go. As you can tell, I've got wild hair. Yes, I've been awake for a while. I just am laying back, not really rushing about doing stuff, and just kind of doing my own thing right now. And I didn't feel like getting dressed this morning. I have to, but I didn't feel like doing it this morning. So, alright, starting with working on Operation Gratitude, of course. I've got my blue scarf that I've made this week, and I got my gray scarf. This measures out to be 4 inches, which is the criteria I have to meet, but sitting it next to this one, it's kind of like almost night and day, although they do meet the sizes and everything. 4 to 6 inches, 48 to 50 inches long. It does fit. It's just, man, what a big difference. But this is a thinner 4 yarn that I am using, so it does come up as a thinner scarf. But you know what? I believe all things work the way it's supposed to be. It is a thinner scarf, a narrower scarf. The next one I'm doing, I made a little bit wider. But I can get one of these out of a ball of yarn that I have, and I have 8 balls of yarn, so that's what I started doing. Then, of course, I made one to finish up a ball of yarn. It had been rolled, but I have a sequence of things that I do. I finish things, and I try to leave them on my table until I am completely finished with them, and I record it. Then once I record it, they actually get put away then. And of course, my table seems to be gathering and gathering stuff plus daily life. So it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and I had to chase things down. So that had fallen between the table and the sofa. So I had to go looking for that. So it's why it's unraveled. Also, got some additional towels done. I love this towel. It's the more expensive towel than what I would normally do. But I really was looking for 4th of July towels, and I came across this in Hobby Lobby, and I happened to be there. Hold on, my television decided it's not going to wait for me anymore, so I got to hit the mute. There we go. We're muted at least. So I just love this. You have the Statue of Liberty kitty. You have your kitty in your basket. You have your kitty playing with a red and blue ball yarn. Uncle Sam's kitty, and then it just kind of like repeats and repeats and repeats. I'm sorry, I absolutely love this. I am a cat person. I can admit to it. I love kitties. Don't have one currently. That's just the luck of the draw. The last cat that I had was one that liked to pee in the house. I don't particularly care for that, so I no longer have a cat. Because with my back issues, because I was in that car accident in 2010, can no longer get on the floor and clean the way you're supposed to clean. So my house is not the cleanest that it could be. Probably never was anyway. But anyway, I have issues. And if you ask somebody to clean something for you and you know it's a disgusting thing from a pet that you have, and they do that willingly for you, and then the pet comes back and actually does the exact same thing while staring at you, that just isn't going to fly with me. Because I can't ask somebody to clean something for me, knowing what has happened. They're willing to do it for me, and then turn around and have the animal come back and do the exact same thing on top of it. It just wasn't happening. So that was the last cat that I had. You know, and I just haven't gotten another cat. My husband offered to get me a cat, and I was like, no, I honestly believe that cats are yours. The cat that I'm supposed to have will come to me. And when that cat comes to me, you will not get that cat from me. Um, but that cat has not come to me yet. So, I love cats. Anyway, love dogs too, but like cats more. My husband knows this, although we do have 2 dogs. Um, then, of course, to go with cat, we have our little doggies, and look at them. Aren't they so cute? And, of course, this doggy here is like the doggy that I have. Yes, I have 2 little miniature weenie dogs. I have a wire hair, long hair mix, and then we also have a red smooth. So my wire hair, long hair mix is solid black. And for the longest time, we didn't have cameras that could take a good enough picture for him to actually show his eyes. Well, now the cameras are actually good enough made. You can actually pick his eyes out of the actual picture. So now we can get some good pictures of him. He was actually originally my daughter's dog. And of course, if you know me, she's passed and now he's actually grown attached to me. So, and I did 2 of these towels. These are the ones I was able to find. I love this towel. I think it's very pretty. I wish I could have gotten out and gotten something for towels for Memorial Day that might have gone with them. But I did get out the 4th of July towels. So there we go. Got those done this week. What else did I did? I did looking for some other things that should be here that have like gone and disappeared now. So I gotta probably pause and see if I can find them. For some reason, I had this yarn in my bag for Charli's Love, and I decided to make it into a little blanket. I have yet to measure this blanket. I do need to know its measurements. I have measuring requirements. I'm pretty sure I've met them because it's 12 inches, and I'm pretty sure that's over 12 inches. It's the smallest thing I can make. I just sat here and rolled up tape measure. So while I'm talking to you, how about I measure it out and we'll figure out how big it is. All right, it is, I would say 20 inches. And that's a short side to a long side. I go from a point to the point that's crossed it, and this way is like 21. So, yeah, 21 inches. I gotta see if that meets the requirement. I think it does. I know it's 12 to 16. If not, I may have to come back and put another stitching around it. I'm hoping not coming out of this yarn. But I do have another yarn that is the same. I put the gray around it. Could always come back and actually finish it off with a gray stripe or 2 around it. So, but I'm considering it done. If not, I will pull it out and work on it again tomorrow. Or Wednesday. I do have a hat. Hold on a minute. I'm going to move you a little bit. Yes. I did make a small little preemie hat with what I had left for it. So it only got that far with that second purple stripe, that long purple stripe. And that's just the way it works up. Can't control that. And let me pause it. Alright, I unpaused it. I paused it because I did do 2 more additional preemie hats, but I can't see them, so I may not have grabbed them. But I did a blue and I did pale yellow, so those will get put away. I did go on Setta's place, and of course she has her crochet along cowl. And I'm not making the cows for me. I really didn't. I can't wear cows. I have no neck. Nothing. But I liked how it worked up, and it worked up so easy, and I had done jaded and stitches. Pretty sure I hadn't shown this because it should have gone away. I did shaders and stitches crochet along with her mile minute blanket, and I liked the 2 colors that were together with it. So I created another cow, and this is like a mauve and a burgundy and a gray just put together. Back here, I think you can see it better. Somehow or another, I always end up getting backlit instead of front lit. You can see the colors pretty good. You know, so I did that one. Got that done. What I've been working on the hardest this week is this here. Cupcake. Cupcake Cradle purse is what I think is what it's called. Cupcake Cradle purse. Yeah, Cupcake Cradle purse. It's by Mary Maxim. It is a paid for pattern. And I did it. So you saw what it is when it's tied up. I did make changes of my own. Not sure how well they did, but I did make changes of my own. I struggle with patterns. I really do. So I got the cupcake part done. And I got the frosting done. So when you actually open it up, it looks like this. I got the hood done, had to do the hood twice, then it came back and it told you to put this little ruffle on the hood, and it's just too heavy to actually have it hold up. So I wanted to take it off, but this is for my granddaughter for Christmas or her birthday. She says she absolutely loves it, so she doesn't want me to take it off. So then, of course, you get the little baby. And I had to create my own outfit for the baby because the outfit that I followed the directions for was really too big. So I made my own little dress for the baby. I kind of really like it. I have 3 more babies that I can crochet for, so I may come back and make some more. What I did was I crocheted around the first loop around, and then I crocheted, from there, got the size of the baby and crocheted from there. Put it on the baby and realized that it was too low in the front and the back. So I had to come and not tight enough in the straps to hold the dress up where it needed to be. So as I came back and actually stitched the back closed while it's wearing on the baby. Yes, the baby can actually, everything is covered now, which is what I wanted. But the dress cannot be taken off the baby. And I explained that to my granddaughter, and she was like, she didn't mind. She just liked the dress. So I was like, okay, there you go. Got the baby done. Then, and the baby is so cute. Look at that little face. Isn't that adorable? Oh, just love it. And I have 3 more babies, different faces. Hold on a moment. Let me pause this. Thank you. Just saw my husband come through. He's trying to feed my grandson. So anyway, so then it has a rug, and I was struggling with the rug because I felt like the holes were coming out wrong on it, and then I turned around and made my own. I made a blanket instead of a rug, so the baby can actually have a blanket while it's in the cradle. And then I went back and looked at the pattern, and the holes were coming out like they were supposed to. So I may have had it right. I just didn't feel like I had it right, so I just didn't want to do it. So anyway, the baby now has a blanket to sit in the crib with it. Isn't that cute? Don't like the ruffle on it. If I do another one of these, I will not do the ruffle. The drawstring cord, of course, is my own design. It gives you directions on that. I could follow the directions on it, but I felt it was going to take so long that this was so much faster. Thing is, now when I did it, it's actually kind of too thick. It doesn't pull through easily, so hopefully with wear and tear, it'll move a little easier. So that's where I spent over 2 days of this week working, is to finish this project up. I really wanted to finish it. Yes, I did work on my temperature blanket this week, and I've got less than 2 weeks in November to be done. Then I can go to December, and then after December, it's the sides around it. And I've already told my husband I am not washing it in my washing machine at home. I feel like the blanket's going to be really heavy. I want to take it to a laundromat, wash it, dry it, and then I'll have to come back and look at all the, because I'm threading in as I, or put, give me a minute, it will come. I am putting the ends, tucking the end tails in as I go. That's not right. I am putting the ends in. Anyway, I'm putting the ends in as I go, crocheting the ends in or pin them in. So that is what I'm doing right now. Alright, so that leads me into my WIPs. I am working on towels today. I have 2 more of these towels, I think. Or 1 towel done already. I'm working on the second one, and then I have each one of the kitty and the dog to do. Then I think I have 2 more towels of this to do, but it'll be a different top to it. because I will be out of yarn by that time. And I am using Old Glory by I Love This Yarn. And let me tell you, this is the first time I have used a new, because I bought some stuff from Goodwill that had a roll of Hobby Lobby in it. And I have to say that I actually love this. I love this yarn by Hobby Lobby. It is so silky and soft to work with. It just seems to glide so easy, doesn't split. I really am enjoying working with it. So that's where I am with that. So, new acquisitions. My husband and I were out last week before I recorded, and we got some new towels for me to work on. So, fresh coffee is the best way to start your day. I thought that was cute. He found that one for me. And we found this. He found this one also. Live every moment with joy and laughter. I got that one because it was the only one I could find. And then as I'm leaving the store, I found 3 more. But that's okay. Love builds a happy home. I'm making that into a towel. And I got 4 of those. So I got that. Then my son and daughter-in-law went to the store, and because they know I'm making towels, they picked me up some towels too. So let me get everything unhooked because I haven't done anything with these towels yet. It won't go. I had already purchased these, but they got me some more of them. So these I think I have set aside for August because I felt like they were Hawaiian cookouts. Luau's would be a theme for August and July. I have this one. I can add this one to my collection. Again, the watermelons, July and August is what my thought is. And then she had also gotten me these. She absolutely loves this pattern. This was the new pattern that replaced the lemons. So she brought me 2 of those towels. This one is a new one that just must have came in recently. Isn't that pretty? Love this one. So I told her I would try and get onto that one today to make for her. So she could send that off to somebody that she loves. So that is the new acquisitions I have. I jumped over works in progress. I did, didn't I? Okay. Started works in progress, which led me into my acquisitions. Sorry. Sometimes you just cannot put 2 and 2 together. Okay. Works in progress. Today is Saturday. Yes, I'll be making more towels, more of my 4th of July towels, and hopefully at least one of those sunflower towels. Tomorrow, Sunday, is Jada and Stitches and Operation Gratitude. I may turn around and I'll finish up the crochet scarf that I had started while I was out at doctor's appointments this week. I'll definitely finish that one tomorrow, and then I may just turn around. I want to start working on some other things. I may put something new in there. I have something I want to make for my grandson, Freddie. Then Monday's definitely Operation Gratitude, so I'm having surgery that day. So I probably will not be working on Operation Gratitude, so I may stay on Sunday working on Operation Gratitude. I don't know. Tuesday, supposed to be in the hospital. I don't know if I'm going to be home. That is my temperature blanket. I will not be working on that this week. Wednesday is Operation Charli. I'm hoping to be home by then. I may not be because I'm taking my towels to the hospital with me. I figure that's a small project, bunch of small projects. I can just work on that. So I'm doing that. Then Thursday, I should definitely be home by then. Thursday is Setta's place and the baby cradle. I'm done with those, so I may find a different pattern to work on this week for that. Friday is my free day. I don't know what I'll be working on. I have no plans on it because should be home recovering. I may pick up my temperature blanket Friday, or I may turn around and just lay in bed. I have a gift that I need to get ready, so I may work on that. I think I want to do the star blanket again for that. Then Saturday I'll be back at towels. In amongst all this, still I'm going to be homeschooling with the grandkids. Still not as intensive, but I still am homeschooling with the kids. Both of them. Well, Megan's just moving along really quick. Freddie has hit a spot somewhere. I don't know what has woken him, made him alert, whatever. But he hit a spot in math where he is like going like this with math all of a sudden. Certain numbers, not all of them, but he's moving fast enough that instead of us spending a half hour doing 20 problems, we might be spending 15 minutes doing 20 problems. And it's so much more easier and so much more enjoyable. I don't want to take a complete break from school for him because I don't want to lose that. And if you take off the full summer, um, you can lose up to 3 months of schoolwork. And I just don't want to do that. We've worked so hard to get him where he is. So I'm going to be doing that with them, plus then a few other things. So we'll see how that work pans out. Anyway, so that's what I got going on. I've got to go shoot another video because I want to get my bingo card video up so that I'm ready and have that posted. So I will talk to you later. Be kind this week, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks, guys.